a video on this funky clarified butter. So some time ago I made some clarified butter, put it in a container, stuck it in the fridge. Didn't forget about it, but just thought it would be fine, and I'd use it at some point later on. I was faffing around with cakes and using clarified butter instead of all butter in a cake, just for the sake of faffing around. And I ended up with some clarified butter left over. It went in the back of the fridge. I was going to use it the other day. I was going to make some pastry out of it, or I was going to use it up in some pastry that I was also making with the fat that I've extracted from some Stilton, which looks a little bit like clarified butter, but has this funky flavour to it. This funky Stilton flavour to it. I was going to use this clarified butter, but I've noticed that it's gone a bit cheesy in kind of taste, so it's gone a bit funky. But I do remember someone was making a tagine and then putting in some like fermented butter into it, and they said it gave it this interesting flavour that was, I'm sure they described it as a bit funky. So I kind of thought, well, I don't want to waste it. We're going to use it, but I don't want to taste it while it's got that the way's kind of like poked up around the side. So no, we'll just give it a try. Actually, we'll give it a try. It won't. It's not rancid. It hasn't got a rancid flavour to it. It's just gone a bit funky and it smells a bit cheesy. Yeah, it's just got a bit of a cheesy, funky flavour to it. So, what I thought we'd do is I'd melt it in some hot water, and then the butter will melt the way the clarified butter will come to the top of the container. The whey will float to the bottom, and it will be easier to separate off. So we'll just melt that in some hot water. I'll put it on the gas as well, just to gently heat it, and then we can separate it a lot easier rather than having to wipe off the whey from the clarified butter. So, and then we'll be back when it's separated and we've got it out of the container, and then we'll think about what we can use it for. I think we'll make some pastry out of it. Am I going to make a tagine? No. But I think it'd be quite nice in some pastry. It'll make like a bit of a cheesy flavoured kind of pastry. I think yes, that's what we'll do. Right, I've decided what I'm going to do with this funky clarified butter. I'm going to see if it grates and then use it like a suet. Suet's pretty expensive, in all honesty, and I think if we can find a substitute for it by grating some either funky butter or some rendered down beef fat, which is pretty solid actually once it's come out of the fridge. So if it works with that, it'll work with the beef fat. So I was thinking about this. I was thinking that it's out of the fridge as this, so we just need to grate it. But as we grate it, we just need to dust it in the flour, because we don't want it. Obviously, we're going to get friction as we grate it, and we're also going to get the heat from the hands. So I don't want to melt the fat as we're doing this, because it will start to combine, and I don't want it to combine. I want it to stay in separate flakes, which is what a suet is. Oh, it's more suet that you make dumplings out of. It comes with like a jacket of flour around it to stop it from sticking together. There's obviously some other ingredients in there as well, and there'll be like something that stops it from the flour taking on too much of the moisture from the fat. Well, there won't be any moisture in the fat. It's a fat, but there'll be something to stop it all from just congealing and turning it into a lump, because that's not the idea of a suet pastry. So, and then we just need to add, I think this is going to work, you know. I think it's going to work. So those bits can go in. I need to clean that off. So that like that out of the way. Yeah. So half. What do I need? Might as well use that. need a little bit of salt. So half fat to flour, like a normal pastry mixture, and then just enough water to bring it together. So a little bit of water. These aren't technically dumplings. Technically these are going to be cobbles, which is something that you put on top of a stew or a casserole and then bake it in the oven. But my family, we call them dumplings, but they're actually cobbles. And I much prefer cobbles than dumplings because I like the crispy topping of a cobble, and then just slightly soaked into the stew underneath. I don't think that's any more than that. I think this might work, you know. Just enough water to bring it together. So they want to be kind of quite loose. Maybe a little bit more water. Right, but they almost want to be falling apart. It's self-raising flour, so it's already got the rising agent in. And then you just gently push them together like that. And I'm not going to bake them on top of anything. I'm going to put them. Yeah, that'll be fine. Even though that looks like it's falling apart, that's kind of how we want it. And then I'm just going to bake it in the oven on a bit of baking parchment, rather than, I haven't got any stew to put them on. That's what I'm saying. But those can just, with a little bit more water. I think this will work. And then we'll do the same with the beef dripping and see if that kind of forms. Maybe that's a little bit too much liquid, but you get the idea of what I'm doing. They just want to form, and the kind of them falling apart is more of the all the charm of them. So we'll bake these in the oven, 200 degrees, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, something like that, and we'll see how they turn out. And I'll do some of the beef ones as well. Well, this seems to have worked. They seem to have worked. Turn the oven off because we're not made out of money. So, gone crispy on top, and that's what I like. I like the crispy on top, and then the soaked up stew underneath. But obviously there isn't any stew. So these are the ones made with the funky butter. I know the taste. They look okay. Nice and soft. Nice and soft. That's how you want them. You want them nice and light and soft, and a little bit crispy on top. It can be a bit hot, isn't it? I'm going to burn my mouth. Let's break into the beef ones. So these are the beef ones. Same again. Nice and soft, which is what you want. You want them just to be on the brink of falling apart. So, but if we can do, so if the work in making dumplings, we can make suet pastry out of them. And so we could do a savoury jam roly-poly type of thing with some ragu inside or something like that. That'd be nice. I've done that already, actually. That's nice. That's nice. That's nicer than pork beef, so it is that. So that's the funky butter one. And then what's the homemade beef tallow, beef dripping like? You know, that's delicious as well. They're delicious, are those. Now, unfortunately, now I think to myself I really should be making dumplings out of my own beef dripping in future, because they're much nicer than that. But making your own beef dripping is a real faff. But they're lovely. But could be made with clarified butter. I think lard's a bit too soft. You'd have to freeze the lard before you grated it to make it really hard, so it would grate easy, because I think it would want to melt into the pastry a lot easier. You couldn't grate butter to make dumplings or a suet pastry because, well, you make rough puff pastry because the butter would want to melt too easy. So I think you have to clarify it, but you could make it with ghee stroke clarified butter. But anyway, those delicious. That's success.